So I'd also now like to introduce to you our second speaker, which is Ben. Hi, Ron. So you join us up there. So Ben actually has moved here 2 years ago.
Yep.
Yes, from the south.
Melbourne.
From Melbourne, as many of us, many people have, and actually is the founder and CEO of an agency called Due North. When I asked Ben how to describe, he described what they specialise in. He said do search marketing with a twist of lemon. I like that. I like everything with a twist of lemon. So yeah, really excited to have Ben here today. And when I first was introduced to Ben, what really stood out for me was the fact that he's worked client side for so many years. And I think even in his bio, he talks about the fact that he's hired and fired agencies across that whole span of his career. And I think that, then you go to a point where you actually go and create your own agency, you're taking a lot of those learnings. So really excited to have Ben speaking with us tonight to share some of those with us and what makes great marketing. So thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you. I think this concept of pizza, beers and presentations is awesome. well done, guys. Can I ask you guys a question? I want you to be honest, because my hand's going to go up as well, right? Who's been through or is going through a midlife crisis? I think I'm coming out the other side, which is good. So I think because my presentation might be a bit, is melancholy the right word, or a bit reminiscing, a bit looking back over my life, whatever it's been. I guess it's really, I started my first business in 2003, so it's, I guess really my learnings, both as mentioned, being a client of agencies, and I guess also for the past 6, 7 years of actually running my own marketing agencies of different formats. So it's Due North, this is us, who we are, and ultimately we're a search marketing business that's obviously all about growing revenue. We've got a few different take on marketing in general, obviously from our background, that we think makes us pretty different from a standard marketing agency and search agency. I guess my sort of history, our first business was started in 2003. After 6 or 12 months of toying with a few things, we ultimately got into the payments business, and we took CBA's transactional banking products for small business, put our logo on them, and then sold them to small business. So we started, so that was 2004, a few things, and then grew really rapidly till 2009 when the GFC hit. I don't know if anybody remembers the GFC, but that was a pain in the ass. So at our peak we had sort of 35 sales and marketing staff up and down the eastern seaboard. We had 22,000 clients, we had a database of 130,000 people, so we got really good. I thought we got good. It's famous last words as you look back on it. Some of it's luck. We thought we got really good at sales and marketing, and ultimately we had some. We looked at every form of marketing sales possible. So we had door knocking, cold calling, mail outs, radio advertising, you name it. We tried it, and ultimately we stumbled into the digital world in 2005. We started running some AdWords for ourselves, and our cost per click was dirt cheap back then. It was about 20 cents, and we got. I don't know, so it used to cost about $20 and we used to make $560 out of it. Oh, this is great, let's do more of this. So we started to look for people that, so we're just running our AdWords for about 6 months, and so we thought, there's got to be smarter people than us that could do this better. So we found these guys that impressed our socks off, and so we hired them. And then our results started going like this. And month 2 we're going, results going down. He goes, oh yeah, we're just learning stuff, keep getting to the nitty-gritty. Okay, I'll believe you. Next month, down another 10%. Month 4, going, guys, what's going on? You've had your time. So they decided to part ways, but eventually it was sort of 5 or 6 months before we got it back, and we, 20 or 30 grand we wasted on them. And once again, hindsight is you learn a lot, but at the time you don't learn enough when you do that. But I guess that really spoke about, be really good at what you do. This concept of being mediocre or you're not quite sure. Life's too short, right? So make sure what you do and how you do it, you're bloody good at it. That's how you add value to people, and I'll talk about that a bit more later. Next, so in our day of the outbound sales and marketing, we're probably speaking to about 1,000 businesses a week. We would touch or reach in different formats. and it was basically either Yellow Pages or we'd buy a list and just go through that list, right? So it's pretty hit and miss. You do these things when you're about 26 or 27. And we thought, surely there's got to be a better way of identifying a target audience. And so after meeting a few people, we came across this company that said, we're really good at this, but we're branching out into this area and we'd like to take you on as a client. So this wasn't their core business. And once again, about 4 months into it, our results had gone backwards from just using Yellow Pages. And you go, once again. So moral of that story is core business is paramount. This concept of trying different things, blowing so much time, money, energy and resources, it's amazing. So once again, my 2 cents worth is you stick to core business, you nail it really well, and you don't change course, because that's when you start really hemorrhaging cash. You overpromise customers and you underdeliver, and they have a really crap experience with you. So it's kind of this concept of focusing on core business. So obviously GFC hit in 2009-ish. We went from 35 odds, 40 staff including support staff, 20 staff, 15 staff. Finally shut up shop in 2015 with 2.5 staff. So it had a good innings, it did well. Over that time, we were trying to do more with the banks, but obviously they had no interest in getting new customers. It was amazing. They had a 4-month wait list in mortgages in 2009, 2010, shifting from small players to big players, out of control. That's why, was I talking about the GFs? Yeah, it's coming in a big way, talking about the decline in the economy. So we started exploring new things, and we started a traditional digital marketing company in 2012, which got acquired in 2015 by a Central Coast model. That's how I actually came to love this place. So that's a bit about my history, and ultimately, I guess it's a lot of this presentation, I guess, my learnings, as I mentioned to you. So I guess part of my midlife crisis, and that's something that's, I guess, is my thirst for knowledge, is really all about, what does great marketing actually look like? Because there's so many people telling you so many different things that I guess that's my real passion and drive, is to start. Obviously I've experienced a lot of it, but really to hone and refine what that is. So I discovered this quote about 4 months ago, and then I tried to look up where it came from, and nobody really knows. Somebody said Shakespeare, and somebody said other people. So it's the thing about history being rewritten in different ways. But the purpose to life is to discover your gift. The work of life is to master it, and the meaning of life is to give your gift away. And I guess once again, being my midlife crisis coming through, is that concept of your reason for being becomes really important to it. Get better and better at it, and then share it with other people. And I guess that's my first and foremost. Greatness of marketing is all about your why. You're understanding what is my reason for being on this earth, and apart from kids and eating and procreation, whatever else, is it's, what am I going to be really good at? So there's a guy up here that I met about 6 or 7 years ago, a guy called Edmund. Belgian. That's the one. And I met him for the first time, and we're deciding whether we use them or go into business partnership. I can't remember. Anyway, I sat down with him, and he's an SEO guy, and he starts taking me through how he takes SEO, what he does with it, what he gets from it, and his passion was amazing, right? You met those people, and you have 2 seconds with them, and you go, wow, what drug do you want? I need some of that, right? Just exuberant. Safe to say we move forward with using him, but it's that why. You smell it, you see it, you feel it, you touch it, that you're going, you know what, I want that, right? And this has become so important for your staff. So, and touch wood, we've had our challenges, but so we've employed about 300 and something odd people over 16 years. Today we have, always got your little challenges, but it's the easiest we've ever had in terms of recruitment, because people want to follow a course. They want to be part of something that's bigger than themselves, right? So staff become a lot easier, your customers lap it up. And not in a bad way, but it's, they want what you've got. They want that the passion, the energy, enthusiasm. And all stakeholders want that. So that's really important to get right from day one. This concept of I call it I believe, right? In the book, Pitch Anything. Who's read that? Pitch Anything. Write it down. Buy it. Read it. But it talks about, it's really about why you, why now. So if you're in a meeting with a client, why should they be choosing to buy from you today? Right? So he talks about social, economic and technology reasons why they should buy from you today. You can change those whatever shape or form you want, but we've got 4. And it's a belief of what's transpiring in the world to make people want to choose you today. So you've got to give people a reason to buy from you. Otherwise, you're just like everybody else. So it's find out what that reason is, and you want it to be a real belief. You want it to be close to you and who you are. So the first one, our take is that you, as a business owner, should be acting like you're going to sell your business in 2 years. Now, whether you do or not, don't care. Whether it transpires, not of interest, but your mindset should be that we're going to invest in the process, systems, assets we need today, so that in 2 years' time I can sell my business. Right? So that's how we start. It's one of them. 70% and growing rapidly is that concept that 70% of people have chosen where they're going to buy from you before they speak to you. Right? And that's growing rapidly. 75 in a couple of years, 80 in a couple of years. Right? So it's framing why people should talk to you, why they should choose you over somebody else. Marketing's so full of smoke and mirrors, does my head in, right? Marketing, in its very essence, is who are you selling what to, and how are you going to communicate to them, right? No more, no less than that. That's all it is, and I think we as professionals get too caught up in the technical detail and not the essence of what we're trying to communicate. So, once again, and I'm going to go into a bit more detail in all of this, but they are 3 core things that you need to get right for your own business as well as for your client's business. Because to market their business or your own business, you can't get it right until you've got this sorted out. So the brain, I am not a brain surgeon, scientist. I am a rocket science, like it says in a nutshell. I studied aerospace engineering at school. So I should have got a rocket ship up there, shouldn't I? Rather than a brain. Come up with a new one. But I found this fascinating, and I know you've come across it in the past couple of years, but ultimately the reptilian brain, or the croc brain as they call it, is the oldest part of the brain. It's been around forever. Next part's the limbic brain, which is the emotional connection that we have. And then the new part of the brain is the neocortex, right? And we've evolved as we have over time. The reptilian brain is all about, is it going to kill me? Can I eat it? Can I mate with it? So it's all the fundamentals of life, right? Next one's the emotional feelings side of the equation, and the brain, right? Latest Harvard studies are showing that 95% of all decisions are made in the first 2 parts of the brain and not the neocortex, right? So traditionally in marketing, we're selling features and benefits. You're selling to the neocortex brain, part of the brain, right? Whereas all the decisions are made before that. So there's a big shift coming in terms of how you're selling on emotional connections and fear, not in a bad way. But that's the communication mechanism is into those parts of the brain. So the big challenge once again for you guys as marketers, whatever your channel of choice is, how are you selling to those emotional needs part of the brain versus the new logical, analytical part of the brain? Which leads to my take, by far the most important thing for you and your business and your client's business is value. What is your value proposition to the end user? And it's, once again, it's not features, and it's not benefits. It is the emotional connection that you create. So I love camping, I love my outdoors, and I've been trying to get my wife into it for God knows how long. And I finally cracked the nut. But it's taken, obviously, a nice camper trailer with a bathroom and a shower and all the bells and whistles with it, right? And so we've gone to see this one camper trailer, and she's just fallen in love with it. And I've gone, yes, we're onto something, right? And then I spoke to my brother about it, but my brother's got the exact same model about 3 years earlier. And he goes, we've had nothing but issues with it. There's dust, it leaks, blah, blah, blah. You know what? My wife's sold on it. The logical facts of these are the issues and challenges with this type of camper out the window. Right? And my emotions about getting outdoors, I'm happy with a bit of dust, and if it leaks, I don't care. Right? So it's all about the outcomes. And it's an individual connection. So quite often you'll speak to somebody in the B2B space or the big corporate space, and we say, oh, our client's BHP. You know, yes, it is, but there's individuals in that company that you need to talk to. And this is all about what value in an emotional connection are you providing them, right? And ultimately it's core ones of pain, ego, which make me look good, opportunities. So they're the things that you really need to be selling on, and it needs to smack them in your face on your website and when you're communicating what you're doing. So just a sample of some of the, look, there's a world of them out there, but just some of the catchphrases that we've kind of just want to highlight, and you can just see straight away how cool they are, how emotive they are. So Vimeo, make life worth watching. Explore the world through somebody else's eyes. Find the music you love, right? So they go straight to your heart, right? Go straight to that connection. It's not about we provide the best service around blah, 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 whatever it may be. Great marketing sells the problem and the pain that's associated, right? So you're not selling a solution, you're not selling outcomes, you're selling the problem. IKEA, right? Who knows why IKEA is so successful?
No one's got any space.
So the first time I went to IKEA, I moved out of home for the first time. I had a little one-bedroom apartment that I needed to get out. Got my bed there, got my utensils there, I got cups there, I got tea towels there, I got whatever on. All of it, within reason. Second time, I've been to IKEA more than that, but the 3 main times I've been to IKEA was when we bought our first house. Once again, we had a 3-bedroom house, we needed to fit out, we got do-nut, my son called it a do-nut, so it's just stayed as a, do-nut. We got doodles, we got toilet paper, they've got the Christmas napkins there, they've got the bonbons, they've got everything you want. The third time we went to IKEA was for the camper trailer that we've kitted out. Once again, it's got everything you want, right? IKEA is the only company in the world that has solved the problem of kitting out your own house. Super A Mart, whatever else, you need a couch. Harvey Norman's, you need a television, right? They have solved the problem of I need everything kitted out, right? And it's a classic example about the drill bit. Who's heard the story about the drill bit? So you don't want a drill bit, do you? You want a drill bit, you want a hole drilled into the wall. You don't actually want a hole drilled into the wall, do you? You want a shelf put there. You don't actually want a shelf, you want to put photos on there. You don't actually want photos on there. You want to be reminded of the trip to Europe where you had a great time with whatever else, right? So once again, it's that emotive connection and the outcomes that you're getting that become the most important communication mechanisms. And we've all heard this, but I'm just going to reiterate it, is you've got to tell stories. This concept of not telling stories doesn't work anymore. So 22 times is what you remember from a story being told versus a statement. Right, so all of your marketing, all of your pitches, all of your engagement with a potential customer should be about stories. It should not be about the service we're going to give you, it's that sort of stuff. It's the stories you remember. You've got to make a point with them. There's no point in telling a story if you've got a point. But it's what you need to do. And what I find fascinating, so our target audience is business owners, right? $2 to $20 million turnover, give or take. But it's the engagement we have with business owners. And every single, bar some egotistical maniacs, every single one of them doesn't want to tell their story. And they've all got amazing stories to tell. Their background, where they've come from, their struggles, none of them want to tell it. But they've got to. You've got to push them to tell their stories. As for yourself, but also as a client, they've got to get the word out there. You buy, once again, on the person who they are. Know the customer better than they know themselves. Who says that choose a prey? I'm assuming most of you women would have different formats. Who hasn't heard of choose a prey? So they.
I have 2 drill bits in my hand there.
Love it. I'm not going to get the figures right. I was a figures guy a while back. But effectively, they raised about $36 million over multiple fundraising rounds, and they had this cool model of customizing shoes on demand. And they spent a plethora of money on market research and building this business case. And it looked awesome, raised the money, went to market, belly up, right? So people told them they wanted this, but they didn't need it, right? So the whole market research said, that's what I want. When push came to shove, they weren't prepared to pay for it, right? So this is that concept of knowing your target audience and with your clients, their target audience, better than they know themselves. Henry Ford's got this famous quote where he goes, if I had have built what my customers wanted, I just would have built faster horses. Right? So it's that concept of what's that real pain or problem that you're going to solve, and that's what you've got to go after. Great marketing creates a great tribe. I've got 2 minutes. Can I go over 2 minutes? Cool. I love this show.
Yeah, it's great.
So he talks about leadership.
We've learned a lot about leadership and making a movement.
Swap out leadership for marketing.
Movement happens start to finish in under 3 minutes and dissect some lessons. First, of course, a leader needs the guts to stand alone and look ridiculous. But what he's doing is so simple, it's almost instructional. This is key. You must be easy to follow. Now here comes the first follower with a crucial role. He publicly shows everyone else how to follow. Notice how the leader embraces him as an equal. So it's not about the leader anymore, it's about them. Notice how he's calling to his friends to join in. So it takes guts to be a first follower. You stand out and ridicule yourself. Being a first follower is an underappreciated form of leadership. The first follower transforms a lone nut into a leader. The leader is the flint, the first follower is the spark that really makes the fire. Now here's the second follower. This is a turning point. It's proof the first has done well. Now it's not a lone nut and it's not 2 nuts. 3 is a crowd and a crowd is news. A movement must be public. Make sure outsiders see more than just the leader. Everyone needs to see the followers because new followers emulate followers, not the leader. Now here come 2 more people, then 3 more immediately. Now we've got momentum. This is the tipping point, and now we have a movement. As more people jump in, it's no longer risky. If they were on the fence before, there's no reason not to join in. Stand out, they won't be ridiculed, and they will be part of the in crowd if they hurry. Over the next minute, you'll see the rest who prefer to stay part of the crowd, because eventually they'd be ridiculed for not joining. And ladies and gentlemen, that is how a movement is made. So let's recap what we've learned. If you are a version of the shirtless dancing guy, all alone, remember the importance of nurturing your first few followers as equals, making everything clearly about the movement, not you. Be public, be easy to follow. But the biggest lesson here, did you catch it? Leadership is over-glorified. Yes, it started with the shirtless guy, and he'll get all the credit, but you saw what really happened. It was the first follower that transformed a lone nut into a leader. There's no movement without the first follower. See, we're told that we all need to be leaders, but that would be really ineffective. The best way to make a movement, if you really care, is to courageously follow and show others how to follow. When you find a lone nut doing something great, have the guts to be the first person to stand up and join in.
It's such a cool video. And look, to me, it's also, as I said, it's really interrelated whether it's leadership or marketing. To me, marketing is all about that tribe following. Seth Godin, who reads Seth's stuff, watches Seth's stuff, I love his stuff. But he talks about the smallest viable market. And once again, my big learnings over the past 3 years is trying to please too many people, trying to do too many things, but also that concept of growth for the sake of growth is, it's not the best thing to be doing. This is all about how do you find a great tribe of 5, 10, 20, whatever it may be of people, customers, that value what you do, enjoy what you do, that you master and continually add value with what you do. And that's why that concept of getting your own tribe is really important in terms of defining who you do things for, because you can't be all things to all people. So how do you get very niche and very specific about what you do? It's like the accounting guy, we had marketing agent accountant guy a couple of months ago. It's that niche, it's that focus. What is my real focus in terms of my target audience? How do I actually continually add value and impress them? And that's what that is all about. Impute. Mike Markula, I don't even know if I pronounced his name correctly. Anybody heard of him? He was one of the, I'm going to get this wrong again. Sorry, if you're
Yeah, no,
watching
it
Mike. He was a part of the early days of Apple. Now, I can't remember if he came with the investment round or whether he was brought in subsequently. Either way, he instilled 3 vital rules to how Apple were going to grow their business. One's empathy, and that comes back to we will know our customer better than they know themselves, right? The second one was focus. We will focus all our energies and we will not get distracted by other opportunities. And the third one is impute, which is really all about you do judge a book by its cover, which ultimately is what marketing is all about, right? And so this is, our job is how do we create the most beautiful books in the world for our clients and for ourselves. It becomes really important because people will judge you. They judge a website, they judge social posts. This is where that concept of quality over quantity any day of the week reigns supreme. Great marketing builds relationships. This is probably one of my bigger, more recent takes in the past 12 months, is our job is all about building relationships with people. And I would challenge you guys to start thinking about what are people saying about me when I'm not there? So how are they describing me and my business? How many people are sitting around talking about me? What are they saying about me? It's all about me, not about you. And that all comes down to how often are people hearing from you with real value. So one of my real gripes about social media and email is the shit that's out there, right? The spam, the spam, the spam. That last word, value, coming back to a couple of slides ago, is how are you continually adding value to your clients? And you can take clients in any way, shape or form. My friends, so I got this bottle of Hendrick's gin out of the blue from a friend I hadn't heard of in 5 years. It's wrapped. It really made my day. It's a question around value that you continually bring to people, because that's what, once again, that's what they're going to buy from you. So give me really good value. Great marketing has a great team. Do not skimp on good people. I remember I was engaged in an SEO company out of Brisbane. Being so streamed, I was going to name them. I won't name them now. But I got off the phone after a 45-minute phone conversation with a girl, must have been a 19-year-old girl. Sex doesn't matter. But I felt dumber than when I got on the phone with her. I've gone, this is... So, clearly didn't know anything about my business or what we did and how we operated. Clearly didn't know her game. And I actually made a complaint to the general manager. I said, I feel dumber. Can I have a new account manager? And he goes, no. So once again, do not skimp on great people. If it costs you extra 20 grand a year, pay them. They are worth their weight in gold in terms of how they operate. And marry your team up with your target audience. Really, really important. So
Marry them with what?
your target audience. What they're expecting, their experience to be with you, needs to marry up to the people that you hire. Great marketing is outsourced. I would challenge all of you to outsource your marketing. I don't know about you.
Google Ads, eh?
Especially Google Ads. I don't know about you, but every single web development company I've ever met with has got a crap website. Actually, I haven't checked your social. I should have a look. But we get too caught up in our own world. We're too busy servicing clients. We're too busy trying to do stuff and manage stuff, and this person's sick and whatever else is. You get stuck, right? The other thing is you get too close. Who's been trying to... I spent 2.5 years trying to define our value proposition. 3 coffees with a lovely lady in Melbourne, and it was nailed. I'm going, why didn't I do this 2.5 years ago? Right? So we skimp on stuff and we try and do it ourselves. Get other people to do it. And I love a coffee. Here's my details. Down the road.
If you want us to take your details, yeah, look at me.
Sure, sorry.
Actually doesn't want to.
No, I'm pretty sorry.
Any questions for Nancy? Go camping then.
What was your camping trial? Complete campsite, Exodus 16.
Complete campsite.
Complete campsite. It's nice.
It does.
Just an
A
anomaly.
bit dusty. Any other questions? Other than camping questions?
I've got an awful one for you. Sort of almost under your breath, you mentioned a conversation about the coming recession
Yes.
that you might have been having earlier, and I was just wondering, how do you talk to do you talk to your clients about recession-proofing their business?
We talk about recession-proofing business. Not specifically. Like, we always ask how business is going. Do you speak to competitors? Are you getting a gist for what's happening out there? Because once again, marketing's very dependent on their overall industry. What the competitors are doing, what they aren't doing. You need to get a really good handle on that. In marketing costs, you also need to have a really good handle on. So Google AdWords, for example, has gone up about 80% in the past 12 months. Whereas you want clients to be bringing costs down. You go, you know, if we can maintain where you're at, we're winning every day of the week. So same as Facebook, I think it's
gone up a lot. Yeah.
doubled in 18 months or something, a bit less. So there's those important factors to do it. But coming back to our whole take is that we've got to be building the systems and resources that you can sell your business to use, right? So the only thing that affects is how much money you can invest in that process. So you can only do what you can do.
How would you sell a client on moving away from those traditional, say, content types where you're explaining a product and selling them on pushing towards emotional triggers?
How would I sell? I'd take them down Bridge Road in Melbourne. Has anybody been down Bridge Road in Melbourne recently? Does anybody know Bridge Road?
Yeah.
The girls got to know Bridge Road, right? So Bridge Road was the major strip shop in Melbourne, where you used to obviously retail clothing, so all the shopping trips went down there. You go down there today, every second shop's empty. It's dead, right? So this concept of selling a product is actually dead. If you're not going to change, you can't help you. No interest. See you later. You see it all the time. There's that competition between wholesale and retail is amazing. You've had wholesalers that have just finally woken up and realised they've got to go retail for their business to survive, and they're all still shit scared about biting the hand that feeds them through their retail stores. And you're going, you know, you don't have a choice. So the amount of businesses, wholesalers that BCF has put out of business based on going direct to China, BCF for example, but all the big guys. So they've got to evolve. If you don't evolve, you're dead in the water. I think the stats are showing that really nicely.
You mentioned the whole selling the business in 2 years goal.
Yep.
Setting up a business, like, there's a bit of plan. You mean including the plan, like from launch day, 2 years?
Today, you should be acting like you're going to sell a business in 2 years. I'm not saying you want to.
Acting like it.
I'm not saying you should be selling it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying you should be acting, right? So that changes your mindset to I'm going to invest in getting the process, systems, assets in place, so that if I choose to, I can. If I choose to work harder, I can. If I choose to take 3 months off, I can.
Yeah. So I suppose the question, like, you need to inbuild like some flexibility to go with how the market might change, right, as well. So do you think that sometimes that can make you a little bit tunnel vision towards some, like a goal of selling where you hold out for another 5, you might be.
So it's not the goal of selling.
Yeah.
It's my understanding what I'm focusing on today to put things in place that allows me to do it. You take a very different bent on. So value of a business is 2 things, right? Is how profitable your operations are and how replicatable your marketing is. The 2 core things that will value every business, right? That's what we work in that world of how we can get you more and more customers in a systematized, replicatable model, right? So that's one asset. The other asset's how profitable your operations are as a business. That's how you value business. So that's why it's so important.
Just maybe a little bit of a prosaic one, but you talked about storytelling and the importance of it in sort of all of your messaging. Have you seen storytelling done well in a sort of search engine marketing context? Is it something you can do effectively through?
Do I have to talk about my competitors that I don't like? Yeah, okay. So King Kong, who I'm just going to throw it out there, they tell a great story. They do. They're emotive. They're on point. They're relentless. Can we pause the camera? So they tell a great story. They really do. I'm not saying I like what they do, but their storytelling's amazing.
It's not real though, that story.
Correct.
Yeah, it's not big.
Bingo. Yeah.
But it's very,
It's a
very
story.
visually appealing.
No.
They're not so good with their systems. They rang me like last week or the week before
Yep.
to follow up on a white paper I downloaded. I swear it was 2 years ago.
Yep. It's terrible. Once again, yeah.
They've got the front end.
It is kind of compelling when you see the guy. It's like they bombard you with Facebook ads. But then you look at it and you're like, oh, so this one agency is what sold all those clients.
Yeah.
Nothing else maybe.
Correct. Yeah. But they, once again, tell a great story.
Show the bird, sure.
That's everybody.
It's a great presentation, thank you. Your agency now seems to service quite a few different market segments. Are you looking to more niche in the future?
Yeah, so we've just set a cap of 25 clients. We're at 22 now, so we won't go any higher than that. Our real love's technology. Working with tech companies that are really good, obviously, at what they do. They're generally terrible at marketing, but they've got a great story to tell and message to get out there. So that's our main focus at the moment, is to really get stuck to that niche. And ultimately, from a product offering, it's we call it search marketing at our core. But for us, it's whilst you've got the traditional SEO and AdWords and content part of that, all this stuff I've gone through is our lemon zest. For want of a better word, is how we bring the marketing bent to digital. So it's the target audience, it's the value proposition, it's the core messaging, it's what's a great user journey look like, when I come to your homepage, what are you going to smack me in the face with that's really going to get me to connect with you guys. So for us, you can't do search well unless you've got all those components. Analytics is vital. So once again, how you integrate this keyword in AdWords is generating this much revenue through your CRM. Right, so that analytics piece becomes really important. To do search marketing well, you've got to have that tracking in place.
And is niching something you really want to do, or do you think your clients want you to do?
It's at our core, it's who we are. So once again, just from the very day we started Google AdWords, we were good at it. I don't know why or how or what it was about it, but we got it. We just got it better than any of the agencies we worked with. So it's always been at our core. It's really who we are. And we've gone off it quite a few times, unfortunately. Once again, hindsight's a feature thing. But we're back on the straight and narrow. That's what we do, and we're good at it.
In relation to how you profile the ideal client for your business, I think especially with search, it's always challenging. It's either, to validate obviously increasing costs with Google search, you've got a volume game or a high value game,
Yep.
and then there's this massive bucket in the middle. You want to play in that space, but actually getting the return, it's more challenging as well. You mentioned 2 million to 22 million or 20 million turnover. What else do you look for in the ideal client that you think we can add value?
It's interesting. One of the biggest things now is I have been burnt at least 3 times. So I've worked with agencies before, I've built a website out of India that didn't work, or whatever it may be, is people have got to be burnt for us to really work with them, which is quite an interesting concept. It's also how we, for some reason, I don't know how to pick this out of people's heads, is they think marketing can create. We can't create. Our job's to enhance what they do, right? So we can take them from 100 leads to 110 leads or whatever it may be. It's that's that incremental growth that we can add value to. Whereas you've got somebody coming in and saying, I need to triple my sales in the next 3 months. It's not real to do. So there's a fair bit of self-selection that comes into that sort of process. So it's the realities in there. It's also that come back to that gift concept, is working with companies that don't want to share that gift, that aren't passionate about what they do and how they operate. Once again, start self-selecting out of no interest in working with them. Once again, they generally don't want to work with people that have the value to bring at the same. They just want quick results without knowing what goes into it. And we've all been there and experienced the arseholes in this world. But, yeah.
Do you face any challenges being located here and not in a major city like Melbourne, where you're from?
We're probably a bit different given that we've got an office in Melbourne and most of our staff are in Melbourne. The challenge is we kept getting pulled back into Melbourne. I want more clients up here so I don't have to keep going back there. But ultimately, no. I think the biggest problem is staff for us, remote staff challenge management, but most people are happy to have a Zoom conversation now. And more people we're talking to in northern New South Wales that have up and left whatever else they all on Zoom. And it's cheap. Flights are cheap, really cheap to get to Sydney, wherever else. So, no, I don't have a problem with that.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.